What up, what up, sports fans all over the world? It's your boy Mac, the Giants fan, here with my guys, the Horsemen, Adam Costas, Zion Zenith, and of course NYG Jeffy T, always right here chilling with us as usual. Well, this is the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Premium Takes back in your life on a lovely Friday afternoon. Now, I know last week, guys, we was AFK, but it's okay. We're back. We're back in you guys' lives. We just had to take a week off due to scheduling, due to just some restrictions. We did take the last week off, but we're here, back at it again. Review our latest in the world of sports, and then obviously cover our action flicks, because I know that was a topic. We were supposed to bring 5 of your favorite action flicks. I did not do my homework, guys, but I'm always down to watch some action and talk about some action movies.
Well, there's one that's coming out July 3rd, which I'm already excited about.
Absolutely.
Franchise. So if anyone knows what's happening July 3rd, then you'll know where I'm going with that when we get to that. So
absolutely. And welcome, Daniel. Always day one, always here, so showing us support as soon as we go live. Daniel is in the chat, holding it down. You know the question that's coming. How was both of you guys' weeks before we open up with our topics? How was you guys' weeks?
Mine was good.
My week was the same as it always is.
Bought a new whip last week.
What kind of whip did you buy? That's a big one.
Much else.
That's something big, Adam.
Bought a Volkswagen Tiguan.
Okay.
It's pretty.
Did you put some spinners on it? I'm just joking.
No, what are we in the mid 90s, 2000? I'm trying to try to get an LED logo though on the front.
This morning,
LED logo. I love
went
it.
to work this morning. They got a flat tire.
Oh no!
That's what I did. I had to spend my evening buying new tires because.
Oh, that's always fun,
I don't know what the hell I ran over, but.
Oh no!
You have to buy a new one.
It destroyed my fucking tire.
Oh wow!
That's not like a
bully.
My shit, that shit.
Bullied it off the thread.
That air went out instantly. That air was out immediately.
Man, oh man!
That sucks.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have a full spare?
Did you just go buy the whole set?
I did not. I just had to go get it. I needed to get one. One of my tires was already a little bit, suspect anyway. And I was already looking to replace that one anyway. And then this happened to this other tire, so, I just go ahead and got a couple new tires. Just had to do that. Had to spend that money that I woke up this morning not expecting to have to spend.
Yeah.
But that's,
I hate that. That's life.
That's life.
That is life.
Especially as an adult, never get hyped about your money. Never get hyped about your money because someone always comes down and crashes your party. But no, I had to get rid of the car. I needed a third row. This one gave me a third row. Tried it out at the dealership. Fits me back there. My knees can be up against it, but there's room enough for me if I need to. So I was basically to get a dog and, the in-laws, right? My grandma needs to come with us, do some stuff. So, but not trying to get too personal. I'm not trying to bore people, but.
You're all good. Well, not to get personal too, but you can take the vehicle on that road trip you was telling us about. So that should be fun.
Yeah, that is going to be. That's one of the reasons why I tried to do it earlier because I always want a new set of wheels going down. So, and this car will whip around. So I'm excited, looking forward to that. So,
absolutely, guys.
Don't try to look me up, people. I don't want to see you where I'm going.
I'm going.
Tell you where I'm going. You guys can come with me. That's fine. I just don't want people to follow me. Are you from Premium Takes, man? Nah, man, I'm on vacation. Yeah.
They'll go stalking Adam now. All right, guys. Several topics to get to. Our two main ones is going to be the movies, talking about action, and then recapping the finals. But then, of course, if you guys want to talk about the Giants, anything NFL related, I really don't have nothing to mention about them. But if you guys wanted to, it's always open here on Premium Takes. Let's get into our first topic. The Boston Celtics had sealed the deal, had won a championship against a really tough out. You know, a lot of people looked at Dallas Mavericks with Kyrie and Luca and the way
I
they've
did.
been playing. The way they've been playing, deservedly so. A lot of people had them, having them come in with the upset, but Boston stayed true to the green wall, and as much as I hate Boston, I was actually, you know, holding up a sign for them this whole playoffs. Like Boston is something special. It was fun to watch, but I want to open up the mics to the boys because we've seen teams like OKC, we've seen teams like Timberwolves, tough teams. We've seen OKC and Timberwolves fall to the Dallas Mavericks, and then we see the Dallas Mavericks go against a powerhouse that was Boston this season. What do you think happened in the finals? Do you guys think that Boston, for what I think happened, was Boston was just too much for them. It just overpowered them. They did Luca and Kyrie, as much as I respect them as athletes, they can't do everything alone. I honestly think if I was the head coach, nothing against him, he's a great player and a great coach, but I wouldn't have Luca and Kyrie facilitating the basketball, even though that's their main job to facilitate the basketball. A lot of the times, if you looked at it, a lot of the role players wasn't showing up in key situations that could have got the game closer and made a one in the fourth quarter. A lot of the times, if you look at some of the key players on Dallas, they're basically just watching Luca dribble. And then Luca finally passes it with like no time left to shoot. If I was Dallas, I would have had Luca and Kyrie off ball and have someone else, maybe like a PJ Washington, distribute the basketball. And maybe they would have got Luca and Kyrie could have got open off ball. Luca and Kyrie getting open on ball, it was impossible, especially with the roster that the Celtics have. That's not even counting Jaden Brown, and we're gonna get into him because boy did he have a great game, a series. Not even counting Jason Tatum,
What's up,
but with Derek
Raphael?
White. What's up, Raphael? With Drew Holiday, with Porzingis in all of one game, they really showed up. And then you got Hauser, and you got Hauser coming off and just shooting from shooting from lights out, basically, and what he's been doing all season. But if I was you guys, I mean, like if I was Dallas, I guess the question to you guys is what do you guys think Dallas could have done better to actually make it a little bit? Because I'm not trying to take anything away from Boston because they did have an amazing series, an amazing year. They're a part of that over 80 wins. Along with the Lakers, the Heat, and a few other teams, the '08 Boston Celtics as well. But what do you guys think Dallas did wrong this series? And were you guys surprised with the outcome on how Boston basically made it look so easy and basically handed Boston the game to win it in front of their home crowd with the starters only playing about less than 20 minutes that game, well, 27 I guess. But I'm gonna open up the mic to Adam first and then pass it over to Mac. Just talk about the series in general, what Boston, how amazing you think Boston was, or what Dallas could have done a little bit different to kind of make it a closer series.
Well, I think Dallas ran out of gas. I just think they hit a wall they couldn't overcome. I think Game Three is really when the series turned. When Boston went up 3-0, they didn't have their starters in. They were playing a bad game, yet Boston still found a way to win that game, even though Luka was scoring and Irving was doing it. They had no counterpunch. And had they won that game, it might have been a different series because then they win Game Four, and now all of a sudden we're
Mm,
kind of
we're
extending
back in it, yeah.
right. We're extending the series a little further, and then who knows, right? Because that's what the Mavericks did. They had that great record after losses. Game two they had a good shot at game two, and then game three they tried and they just couldn't put it away. And then game four they won, and it's like okay, great, but it's a little too late. And then game five, obviously, Boston wins in their home floor. But what I think needs to happen, you're talking about a guy bringing the ball up. I think what happens is those two guys, Luka and Kyrie, kind of play iso ball, and when the chips are down, they put a lot of pressure on themselves to score points, and they can be streaky shooters, very streaky shooters, and that's what separates them from like a Jaylen Brown, right? Who, in his defense, Jaylen Brown has always just been climbing as a player, right? Just climbing, 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 and they had no answer. Jason Tatum didn't play the best of series. It wasn't like he was lights out in these games. He contributed, but they had no answer for Jaylen Brown. They couldn't defend him one-on-one. They couldn't defend his three-point shooting. The guy was aggressive. I haven't seen a guy that aggressive to the hoop in a long time, and I loved it. Dunking on cats, jumping from their key, doing thunderous jams, shooting threes, playing defense. I mean, the guy really came into his own this series. And what you saw on the Dallas side was a guy who kind of ran out of gas. You know, it's easier to defend a guy when your perimeter defense is that good on Boston. Boston has length. They have a perimeter defense. They're basically defending from half court. So it's not like they're letting you get into the paint. You're talking about, oh, they need to take the ball up. Well, when somebody's already checking you at the halfway point, right, and then they're setting up their defense, Dallas thrives on running around and creating mismatches, right? That's what they do. That's what the Western teams like to do. They like to run. They like to run around, and when you sit there and you can get your defense set like Boston did, it becomes hard to do iso ball, right? Because now you're playing right into Boston's hands. They can force you left, force you right, and guys can come over. And being that your role players are not making those shots, it makes defense even easier. So, to answer your question, the role players need to play better for Dallas in order for them to sustain wins. When they did that whenever game they won, because their bench was pretty hot, they won games. And it's not that Luka and Kyrie can't do it. They can do it on any given night. But when you're in the finals, and the role players of Boston are outplaying your role players, that's when you're going to lose basketball games. Drew Holidays of the world, those guys coming through. It was a collective effort. And with Dallas, it was more like, hey, you two guys need to carry us. And if you don't score 40 points each, we're not going to have a chance. And that's basically what ended up happening is those two couldn't quite carry it. And like I said, it makes it easier when you know what's happening. You can funnel the guys right to the defense, right? And then, Likely's not making his shots. Galbert isn't making his shots, right? And he isn't hitting free throws. So now your bigs are going to the line, getting fouled, and going to the line and costing you points because they're not draining their free throws. So Dallas, what they need to do is probably get another superstar this year, somebody like a Paul George or something like that they can have on their team to kind of open up that offense so that they can run their ISO game like that. Because if you have an extra shooter that people believe in, they're going to play that perimeter defense, and now it allows you guys like Likely and your high flyers to crash to the boards. When you don't do that and you're playing ISO ball, it doesn't allow them to crash much because their guys aren't moving around as much, and they're funneling you into a double team. So Dallas needs to get better at role players. They probably need an extra superstar there, kind of like if they can get a KD or a Paul George or something like that, just another guy, maybe an up-and-comer out there. I think that will help them. I think you need a trio. If you look at what Boston did, they have two guys playing above the X's and O's, and then their role players, Horfords, Whites, Drew Holidays, they come through and do what they need to do. But Jaylen Brown, I'll tell you right now, and I'll end with this with the Celtics. Jaylen Brown played phenomenal. So he played a superstar series. He played a series that's why you paid him that big bucks to close out a series. Tatum has been passed up on his own team. Remember, they were touting Tatum as the guy. Guess what? Tatum is a great player. No, I'm not going to take anything away, but the best player on his team is Jaylen Brown.
I love that you mentioned that. Before I give the mic over to Mac, I do want to say, like, Jaylen Brown literally took his game to an entire next level, the whole season, and to show up the way he's been showing up in the finals and in the playoffs in general. Yes, Jason Tatum is the face of Boston, but to be honest, guys, like what what Adam just said. I mean, like, yes, Tatum had an amazing game 5, but Brown, what he did through the finals is the reason. And I'm not trying to say nothing against Drew Holiday's defense, outstanding. Derek White's 3 points, outstanding. Horford 3 points, outstanding. Porzingis is just his overall force on the court, outstanding. But I don't think if it wasn't for Jaylen Brown, Boston doesn't dominate. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, see, you look what you said there, right? You said Tatum had a great game 5, right?
Yes.
But Jaylen Brown had great games from game 1 to game 5.
Games, absolutely.
Right. And in the playoffs and prior, right? In the entire.
And I'm so
playoffs,
happy they didn't rob him from the MVP of the finals.
Right. and give it to like
so
Tatum
happy.
because to me, like when I was watching Boston, and I didn't mean to take your time back.
No,
Just
yeah,
wanted
please
to
throw it over to Mac when you're done.
chime in on what he was saying. Is this is what we talk about with Boston? Is Tatum? I don't know if it's his mental makeup or whatever it is, but he'll do that for you. He'll give you one game and he'll drop 50, and you're like, oh man, Boston's gonna come back, and then nothing happens, right? And I think what was happening with Jaylen Brown is he was just taking a back seat. He was kind of being Robin, and he needed to be more Batman. Now he's Batman, okay, and Tatum is now Robin, and they're going to be a good tandem together. But I guarantee you, if Jaylen Brown is injured, the Boston Celtics don't win. If Tatum is injured, the Boston Celtics, as long as they have Jaylen Brown, can win games. That's the difference.
Yeah, you showed. Sorry, Mac. We need to let you get some words in as well. But he showed heart. Like in Boston, when Celtics when Dallas was about to go on a run, you see Jaylen Brown's energy just show up. Like, ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen tonight. Like, we're gonna. And one thing, not to take anything away from Tatum, but when he won the championship and he's like, yo, what now? What can you guys say now? Like, we understand where you're coming from, Tatum, because as a player, we get it. Like, there's players in the league like maybe like a Tyrese Halliburton or maybe like a Luka Doncic who never even seen the final stage, and you're basically in the Eastern Conference Championships in the finals every single year, right? But it's up to you to seal all that noise, because if you're making it every single year, what Mac's point is we need you to get over that hump. So all that what now we can't say no more. Like, yes, you can thank Brown, but Tatum, you are solidified as a great. Like, I don't know if when I look at who's the closest to LeBron, like it's looking like other names pop up first, but we can't forget about Jason Tatum. I know we mentioned the Giannis's, we mentioned the Jokers, we mentioned the Lucas of the world, right? And then there isn't even a guy. There's a guy coming up with his name's Ant, right? Anthony Edwards is coming up like a dog, right? And there's even some players, people around the league, analysis being like Ant's a way better player than Tatum. But at least Tatum can finally say, "Hey guys, I've been to the mountaintop all of these years, and at least I sealed it." I'm just happy that he finally got that under his bag. Well, go right ahead, Mac. Sorry to take up so much of your time.
Take up any of my time. I'm gonna be short, sweet, and quick and to the point. The Boston Celtics exploited all of Dallas's weaknesses, point blank and period. Exploited their weaknesses. They exploited their lack of depth. They exploited the fact that Luka is as great of a player as he is. He's a liability defensively. I mean, they just exploited it all, and they did it to perfection. And I mean, other than that Game 4 debacle in which I don't know, me and a coworker were talking about it, and it's just fun just saying Boston just didn't want to bother winning it in Dallas. They wanted to go home and win that shit, you know what I mean? So they took a night off pretty much in that series, it seemed like. But other than that, that Boston just did a great job exploiting Dallas's weaknesses, and hats off to them. Give them a hard time. They got over the hump this season. It is what it is. Jaylen Brown did have a great series. Absolutely deserved every bit of the Finals MVP. And that's all I got, man. That's all it really was.
I love it. Before we do turn the page on the finals, I do have a question that was kind of brought up to me in my PlayStation party chat, and I want to bring it up to the fellows here on Premium Takes. We was kind of all unanimous decision on it on PlayStation chat, and I think you guys will agree with us. But I'm gonna ask you guys, and I'm not gonna let you guys know who we chose. I'm pretty sure you guys are actually gonna choose the same team. Who wins, the 2021 Celtics or the 2008 Celtics?
2008 Celtics.
2008 Celtics. Nothing against the 2021 Celtics, but
there's
when you talk about 2008,
because you're talking about Paul Pierce in his prime.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about
Rondo in his prime.
Right, you talk about Rondo in his prime. Like they can't guard Rondo. Drew Holiday can't guard Rondo. The way he was playing, the way that Paul Pierce was playing out of his mind, he was the MVP of that finals for a reason. Kevin Garnett was brought in there. I think their center also. I forgot who their center was, but
God, yeah, Kevin. That's right.
Perkins, man.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins was there.
Kendrick Perkins.
Oh, Kendrick Perkins is
so
yes.
Right, they had a guy who that team was the all around. They had everything. They could score threes with Ray Allen. They could lock you down in the paint with Kevin Garnett and Kendrick Perkins. They could really, slash and dash with Rondo, and him penetrating, and he was clutching those things, hitting clutch threes, hitting and ones. When he was driving to the basket. I mean, if he doesn't leave that, they don't win. Let's put it this way: Rondo, for that Boston team, was the key cog in those teams. If he's not there, they don't win.
No, man.
I know that Paul Pierce was the MVP for a reason, but they don't win without Rajon Rondo. He was an absolute phenomenon in those playoffs. He was played above and beyond the X's and O's, knew when to dish, knew when to give it up, knew when to score when he needed to. He was lights out, and not to mention they also had Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett. And Ray Allen. This was when Ray Allen was still semi-decent. Not like Miami Heat Ray Allen, where he was just a 3-point shooter.
Great bench too.
That was lovely to watch, though.
A lot of guys off the bench. Mm-hmm. That was great. Great role players, great contributors off the bench. Big Baby.
And Doc.
That's locked up now, but hey, it's all whatever. Yeah, Big Baby. You had Avery Bradley. You had a lot of key contributors coming off that bench, man.
You got a lot of guys you got a lot of things that wouldn't happen too. They were a lot more physical at Boston team because they had to get through that Piston team with Rasheed Wallace and all those guys and Ben Wallace. That was no easy task to do, right? And remember, that team had Paul Pierce, and people didn't respect P squared like they should have. And then, he won that championship, and that's what happened. And of course, then the Nets tried to get, cash in quickly.
Absolutely.
Paul Pierce.
Oh, look, before we dive too much deep, real quick, we weren't here last week. Just want to say, rest in peace to the logo, Jerry West.
Jerry West, absolutely.
Passed away last week.
Absolutely,
and, Willie Mays passed away earlier this week as well.
All the greats, man.
Willie Mays, all-time great.
I mean,
the guy who played the old man in the Hunger Games passed away as well.
See, you talk about winning one championship though, right? No, Mets. That Pistons team only won one championship because again, they were playing the Nets, they were playing the Boston Celtics, they were playing the Miami Heat. Remember, the Miami Heat snuck in there with Dwayne Wade, and they won with Shaq that year in 2006 again. So
that's right. We did win in 2006.
So you had a lot of teams in that clumped in that area, so that wasn't always the same representative in the East. Every year, yeah.
I will say this. What do you guys see? It's too early to talk dynasty. I never want to give a team a dynasty. You need to actually go in and win two before you even considered anything.
True.
But what do you guys think this Boston we've seen the Denver team, try to go back to back, and we've seen them struggle this year. We see them get eliminated against the Timberwolves that clearly just had a better put together roster, right? And then we see Dallas go out there and basically handle the Timberwolves. As far as the Eastern Conference goes, I mean, I'm a Miami fan, so I'm gonna be rooting for Miami till the end. But I don't think if we get a superstar this offseason that we even have a chance against some of these teams in the Eastern Conference, yet alone the Western Conference. Is it too early to say that the Boston Celtics might be able to repeat?
I'm not saying they won't repeat, but I think the East is different than the Western Conference in terms of dynasties.
Yes.
I can easily see Denver repeating or coming back again because they, when you win, you get hungover. You don't have the hunger again. Everyone's gunning for you, that type of thing. But I think you need the parity in leagues. It allows you
I just asked that question, not to interrupt you, Adam. I just asked that question because we all watched it, man. They look so smooth on the court together, man. They have chemistry in the Boston. It's like who defeats that? You know what I'm saying? Who defeats that?
We don't know
yet
because the top team in the Western Conference didn't make the finals.
That's absolutely
so we have no idea if, let's say, the OKC match up better than Luka and
I honestly say Timberwolves match up way better than Dallas did, and both me and you agreed on that.
So it is all about matchups, right? So to me, like the dynasty in football is different than a dynasty in basketball. Because what people don't realize is like in football, you don't have the 7-game series. You don't have the same kind of knockout ability, right? The Warriors were there. They had a good dynasty. Almost the NBA was almost predictable. The NFL kind of changes it up because you have these teams that come out of nowhere sometimes. But right now we have a dynasty forming in the Kansas City Chiefs, right? They won 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls. They are the cream of the crop. Boston has won 1. Now, granted, they've been to the 2022 finals, right? And 2 years later, they're back. Had they won that one, yes, we'd be talking about, okay, Boston's on this way. Let's see what happens this year, right? You never know. Injuries happen. People get hurt. Jaylen Brown let's not to say anything, but he's out games and they have to come back. Maybe the Milwaukee Bucks make a few moves and come back. So a lot going on. Back.
And the Celtics kind of got lucky. A lot of tough teams had so many injuries in the East. It's true, man, but they still had to go on that grind, man. They still had to grind it out and get the job done. So I'm not gonna really take away from their accomplishments, man. Injuries are a part of everything. It just happens, and it goes down like that. A lot of teams did have key injuries, but just gotta figure out a way, man, to keep battling. And the Boston Celtics battled all the way to the end, man. But switch gears a little bit, man. I don't know if you guys want. I don't know. I've been
You can switch
it's
gears.
Olympic season, man, and I don't know if you guys know. I'm a big Olympic fan. I'm a big fan of the Summer Olympic Games. I love every bit of it. Everything. I watch things that I would have never ever thought imaginable that I would be sitting back watching when it comes to the Summer Games. The Olympic trials are popping off this week.
Getting excited off of water polo and shit.
Insane. The swimming, yeah, exactly. But the swimming has been absolutely insane, man. World records getting set at the Olympic
Well,
trials,
listen.
man. And can we just put an end to the con? I mean, let's talk about something real quick. We talk about goats and this, the goats and this, the goats and that. The goat is Katie Ledecky. Katie Ledecky is the goddamn goat. Michael Phelps, I get it. He was the shit. He dominated
I
5
don't even know who
Olympic
that
Men's
games.
is.
for the
Awesome.
men's.
Like, I don't even know who that is, bro.
Amazing.
I'm sorry. Woman. She's a woman.
Ledecky is the GOAT, bro.
Oh, why Katie?
No one dominates the way she does in that water. No one dominates the way Katie Ledecky does.
She's pretty good.
1500 meter, the 1500 meter freestyle. Forget about it. I watched her last night. A couple nights ago in the final for the 1500 meter freestyle, bruh.
But
She
I love how
was
excited he
lapping
gets.
bitches. She was lapping bitches. She was literally going in the opposite direction as the other broads because that's how far
It's
ahead
awesome.
of them she was. She is absolutely the greatest. She's by far the greatest long distance swimmer and probably in history. Most dominant. She's absolutely a dominant performer in that pool. Shout out Kayla Decky. I can't wait to see you in another Olympic Games this summer, out there dominating against the best.
Go get that gold. You know what I said about the Olympic Games.
But
Gold.
But there's also rising stars, man. Rising stars along the horizons. Look out! I'm going to tell you all this. Mac the Giants fan. Y'all look out this summer in the pool. A young lady named Kate Douglas, man. Look out for this girl. She made the Tokyo team. She won a bronze medal in the 200 individual medley. This year, man, this Olympics game, she's taking on a much bigger role, taking on a much bigger role. She is, and all she's right now just leading the pack in so many different events, man. And this girl is so versatile. She's the next superstar in United States swimming, man. Kate Douglas, 22-year-old young lady, is getting ready to take that next step and become an absolute boss in that pool. But it's just been great. Track and field started today, man. So far, Sha'Carri Richardson just got done racing in the first round of the 100 meter trial for the Olympic trials. It's just I'm getting excited. I'm getting ready. I'm getting energy. I'm getting charged up. I'm waiting for the games to start, man. They light that torch, man. Let's go, and away we go, man. But I'm sorry, I had to
Now listen,
I didn't
Look,
have to
we're
apologize. It's a
Olympic
sport,
gold.
and that's the world stage. You know,
right. It's one
that's
of the
why I
biggest
love
stages
the.
here.
I'll let Adam go real fast, but that's why I love like the UFC. Like we get the best of the best against all countries into one octagon, right? But what's better than the UFC? The Olympics, because that's the world getting together, and it reminds me of like back in the day, like the Coliseum days, right? The best of the
Right.
best. We're getting the best of the best of all these countries, and you know what? You know what gets me so interested is when like you have like seven people walk out, and like they're just smaller countries, and like you just got one person representing from that country, like how prideful is that, you know, just to be like the only one representing your little small country. And then when some of these small countries are obviously America over everybody, I want to win every single gold, every single bronze, every single silver. I want to sweep the world. But you know, when you have a small country win a medal, it's actually pretty nice to see, you know, because there's all these dominating countries that win it, right? You have maybe have Africa or Brazil with track and field, and you maybe have like United States without swimming, gymnastics, or whatever it may be, right? But
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
see these small, like this country come represent this one guy from this country or this one lady from this country, and they go and they sacrifice, then they work and they train all years and years and to leading up to these moments. And we can't forget about the opening ceremonies. You know, it's just a time where the world kind of get together and for one common good goal of just to compete in the sake of sport. And that's what I love. With so much things going on in this world, I love the Olympics because it really brings the world together for a friendly competition. Go ahead, Adam. Looks like he got distracted. But
It,
outside
it,
of oh, there he is. Go ahead,
it's
Adam.
all good in terms of the Olympic Games, right? The thing, and you know what I hate is how we crown champions like Super Bowls and call them world champions. The Olympics, you're a world champion. You're a world champion because you beat everybody in the world. You're not just facing people from the United States. You're facing Germany. You know, you're facing France. You're facing all these countries. You know, Trinidad has like
And the
one
best of the
one
best from those
right.
countries.
Exactly, their best that he has to offer. So that's why when you get a gold medal, it's the highest of the high honors in the world. To me, if someone told me, Adam, do you want to win a Lombardi or do you want to win a gold medal? I said a gold medal because the gold medal, I know that I beat everybody in the world. Lombardi, that's great. And folklore, I'll have, you know, yeah, the Giants win, great. But when you're a gold medalist, you can't take that away, right? They'll always talk about you when the Olympics come up, and your name will be etched in stone with not that many people because not everybody's given a gold medal, right? Every year, somebody is crowned a Super Bowl champion. Every 4 years, someone's crowned a world champion in the Olympics. So just think about that when you see these championships and these guys go, "Oh, we're world champs." No, you're just champions because if you really are world champions, you know you face the world. And in the Olympics, that's what you're doing. You know, countries stop what they're doing, whether it's war, whether it's, you know, famine. They figure it out to give themselves 2 weeks and get these people trained up because this might be their only shot to be on a world stage. You know what I mean? Think about your country and you walking in there, right? A lot of people love holding that flag. You know, as a flag bearer myself in a parade, holding up my country's flag, it was an honor to do that. So to have somebody else do that on a grander stage than what I was doing, you know, in terms of the world watching as you're walking in there to represent your country, it means the world. And it really should, people really should take into consideration. We really should praise our Olympic champions more than we do. You know, Michael Phelps, yeah, he did well. Simone Biles, you know, get your gold, get back on TV. You know, Katie Ledecky, let's go, make your Subway ads, your Wheaties commercials, because you know what? Those are the champions we need to look up to. Okay, you know, we've lost a lot of that because of fantasy football and you know all the stuff that we do right now. Let's get behind each other. Let's do what some of these countries do. Put our differences aside and cheer on our young men and women who are representing our country in the Olympic Games. It's something that you should be honored, should be cherished, and should be appreciated. And last thing, USA, you better be the gold medal leaders in this Olympics. All right, I like to dominate. I want to be the dominant country in the Olympics. So
What up, Simple? What up, Big Simple?
looks like everything jumped up. We're talking Olympics. People starting to come through.
Absolutely, like food domination. Like let's just win it all and take everything. I'm just joking though. But yeah, I love watching the
But
Olympics,
look,
and
just
go ahead, man.
one more thing real quick about Katie Ledecky. About Katie Ledecky, one more thing, man. They showed a thing the other night before she raced in the 1500-meter final. It was like the list of the top 18 or something like that times in the 1500-meter race, freestyle 1500-meter race. Guess who had each and every one of those times? Katie Ledecky. Each and every one. I mean, no, she's unquestionably the
She's
world
a Tom
record
Brady of
in
swimming.
that event. It's her bread and butter event. But she does the 800 meters. She does the 400. She does the 200. I mean, she doesn't. She the only one she doesn't do is the 100. I mean, but she's not
And that's just a
that
lack
sprinter
for her.
necessarily like that.
That may not be
But
her strong
she's
suit.
just so dumb. It's like I said, I understand that Michael Phelps, like I said, with all the medals that Michael Phelps accumulated in over 5 Olympic games. Well, Kayla Ducky, this will be her fourth Olympic games just throwing that out there. It's gonna be number 4 for her, and she just dominates in a way like I've never seen anybody do before. I mean, it's when she's in that pool, most likely she's gonna win. And she's gonna win most likely. It's just most likely she's gonna win. You can just forget about it. Everybody else is competing for second place.
But
That's just
that's
what
what
it
we need.
is.
You know what I
But
mean? KatieLedecky's getting talked about. Like, this is what I mean. We need to bring our Olympic champions to the forefront and talk more about them because that's what they are. They're champions.
Yeah, they're almost
can't
like
wait to
if you
get
think
back.
of the olden days, they're almost like our represented gladiators. You know what I'm saying? How did
Well,
you
they,
used to
well,
put gladiators up?
they're
Um,
representing a country, right? You're representing
absolutely.
our nation. So I want you to be respectful. I want you to go out there and win your games and do what you got to do. I don't want to
I
hear
will
your
say,
politics
uh,
or any of that stuff because you know why? Because when you look at the Olympic Games history and what people have died to get to the games, people died to get the games. They've moved heaven and earth to get there because these things mean a lot to all these other countries. Let's make it mean something for us. You know what I mean? Let's represent with class. Let's represent with grace. Let's dominate like we always do, and let's just go out there and have fun, right? And put all the stuff. I don't care what your feelings are about the anthem, this, that, and the other thing. Stand there, do what you got to do, be a champion, and represent us well, and have fun, and of course, win all the medals.
yeah, you know what's beautiful about that is like, I mean, like nothing against other countries, love the world, but between like China and India, there's like 3 billion people, and here we are with 300 million people just dominating, just dominating.
Right. But they have a lot more events, and them, Russia, China, all those big countries, they have a lot of people who are just as good as we are, who do this from a young age.
That is,
In the basketball world, if you can shoot, once you start to hit that 10-foot rim, they're putting you in camps, man. They're
if you
putting you
even
in
think about,
basketball camps.
even if you think about baseball in Japan, how serious they take it. Outside of the events that they do sideshows through the game, but how disciplined baseball is. And if you look at baseball, who's the best player in the world right now is a Japanese guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if we're done talking about the Olympics, guys, we're probably gonna move on to our main topic of the hour. It's probably gonna be transitioning to premium takes, more of a pop culture kind of side. We asked the boys to bring the 5 top action movies. But even if you guys didn't bring 5 top action movies, we're just gonna top talk action movies in general. I know no Mets, no Nets, no Jets. Love this discussion last week. He was in the chat holding it down, jumping through all kind of loops, all kind of categories, and we talked horror, we talked comedy, we talked a little bit of action, and then we want to mainly focus on action. And men's Olympic basketball is back, and absolutely, the team this year is absolutely solid, coached by Stephen Kerr, and let's see how they do. Obviously, we'll probably take it, but we don't want to hold anything back from any of these other countries. That being said, guys, let's transition to action movies. And thank you guys so much for being here with us. We see you, Big Simple. Thank you so much. All
Action
right, guys.
films.
Action
This
films. Go right ahead, Adam. Kick it off. Kick it off
this
with a
is
great intro about action.
so we've been doing this summer series, I guess, where we are discussing movies, All right, we'll get to you, No Mets. You ruin everything, man. You can't just let us talk. You just throw out everything now.
Absolutely.
We are going to stop here. We will do top 5.
I would say
we'll do
so.
top 5 and
I
a
would
wild
say
card.
so, though.
Yes, I agree. It is an action film. It's not a drama. It's definitely not a drama. Okay, that's for sure. But we're gonna do the top 5 and your wild card movie because I know that people are gonna have more than one movie. So you get a wild card here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the table quickly and get your movies in, and then try to talk about the movies a little bit as well. But I will start first, and as I was mentioning before you guys came on, there's an action series or a trilogy or a saga, however you want to call it, coming out on Netflix July 3rd. Axel Foley is back and Eddie Murphy is back as Axel Foley in Beverly Hills Cop 4. I love Beverly Hills Cop. That's one of my top movies. It's probably the top go-to action film. I go to action comedy. It's kind of action. It's actiony. The next action film I go to, I got to put in Die Hard #3. I love Die Hard with a Vengeance. Samuel L. Jackson gives one of the best performances ever. Him and John McClane working together to try to solve all those riddles. Absolutely. The next one I would put up in there and is let me go through my Rolodex. I'm going to go with Lethal Weapon. The first one is an absolute banger of a movie. I think that was pretty good as well. So Lethal Weapon would come in #3. I have to then go. I'm a late guy. I'm a '90s, '80s baby. So I'm gonna have to put Terminator Judgment Day on there. Terminator 2 Judgment Day, absolutely one of the best movies. Probably changed some cinema in that time as computer graphics were, coming together, and the T-1000 was absolutely a menace. So I know there's a couple other movies from that era that people like in terms of action movies. This is action and adventure, so you can throw in whatever movie you want in those movies. Con Air was good, but I will go with a different movie than Con Air. I will go with The Rock, one of the most underrated action films there was. The Rock, not just named for a wrestler, but if you don't know, it's Escaping Alcatraz, and it's really, really fun times there. And my wild card movie is, and I love these two guys together, Rush Hour. The first one's pretty good. I'll throw that in as an action film as my wild card movie. So there are my top 6 movies, not in any particular order, but those are the ones I really go to the most when they're on TV. Mac?
I didn't do my homework completely on this either, but Mets throwing some great ones in the chat. But Die Hard is definitely going to be up there for me. I'm talking about the first Die Hard. I can't. Every time I'm scrolling through the channels, and if
Nakatomi Towers, baby.
I don't care what part it's at.
Well, that's why 1 and 3 are so good.
I'm watching that shit.
That's why 1 and 3 are so good.
I love the first one a lot, so much. And then let's go. I go like, I don't know. Are we considering movies like Casino? Are we considering that like an action movie? Because if we are, I love that Casino. Untouchable.
I don't, not really.
Right there.
It's more of a drama.
I mean, it's okay.
Just because somebody gets shot doesn't make it an action film. Yes, Pulp Fiction.
A lot of people getting shot, bro. A lot of people getting shot.
Yeah, but Pulp Fiction and Casino are 2 different levels.
Which casino? Here, let me look it up.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yes, those are action
Reservoir
films.
Dogs. Throw that out there.
Casino, the 1995 Casino?
Yes.
And then
That's like a crime thriller, so I guess that could be action. But more of a drama.
Boondock Saints. I don't know if you ever seen.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys ever seen
Boondock Saints, absolutely.
Oh my God, there was a firefight.
They made #2, but it wasn't that good. It wasn't with the name characters.
No, #2. We don't discuss. We don't discuss #2.
Yeah, we don't discuss that.
Ridiculous.
Just the 1999 one.
Ridiculous.
You know
The real Boondock, the first one.
Yeah, Boondock. Yeah. But what's his name that played the Green Goblin?
William Dafoe.
Yeah,
William Dafoe. You know who I'm going to take off? I'm going to take off Rush Hour, and I'm going to put in. Dang it! What was that movie I just had on to my tongue?
Nah, No, I mean, like, it can be considered. It can be considered because
Rambo,
I
yeah.
have military movies, but mob films. If Mac, if you want to name some of your top mob films, I know you're really into that kind of stuff. You was mentioning last week.
I just
I
have a new
am big
movie.
time. I am. I mean,
Rambo's
Texas
action
Host
you
is
can put
maybe
on
my
there.
favorite movies of all time.
Rambo's amazing.
Oh, First Blood is definitely up there with me. The First Blood is definitely a top action movie for me as well. Yeah, and but
You ever see Cobra?
I don't know. I like a lot of movies, guys. It's hard to just
Oh
narrow it
no,
down.
You ever
same.
see
I'm just
Cobra?
gonna I'm just gonna
Well, no.
mention
Like
some of the
See,
stuff
here's
that
the
I
thing.
named.
Here's the thing. I was just telling you to name five. What it's supposed to do is do what No Meth No Jets is saying, right? Bringing up 48 hours, bantering, but we want to get your first top couple out of the way, and then
Then we
bring
can
up movies that
open the
right,
conversation
right,
up.
right.
Absolutely. So just name five that you can if you're
Well, he's
trapped on an
already
island, you won't mind putting on.
I've named way
exactly.
more than five. I feel like already.
It's all right. And
All
then
right.
Zion, let's hear
All
your
right.
five. You're on, your five and your
I'm
wild
gonna
card.
yeah, I'm gonna mention mostly like with my five. Some of them I'm gonna cheat is my like one and two are like franchises. First off, for military action, I didn't do my homework, but I'm just gonna name a few. I love Saving Private Ryan and Platoon. Those are my two military movies that I go to. There's action in it. If I had to pick another one, it'll probably be a Lone Survivor. I just love my military action films. When you look at action, just straight action, a little bit newer ones is a director that I've been following a lot, and I'm just a fan of his work. Is actually sorry, the writer I'm following is Taylor Sheridan. He wrote Yellowstone, but he also wrote Sequoia 1 and 2. I think Sequoia 1 and 2 is amazing. We're in a gang life, Mexican cartel with the CIA and the FBI and DEA and stuff like that. So Sequoia 1, Sequoia 2, a flick that I really did like growing up. It's a 2007 film. It was kind of like a cranked in a way, like a John Wick before John Wick. It's called Shoot 'Em Up, just nonstop action from beginning to end.
John Wick.
I actually share my screen for you guys when you guys get a chance. I mean, like most of you probably watched it, but if you guys didn't, it's called Shoot 'Em Up. Absolutely amazing movie. He kills someone with a carrot. Like it's fucking awesome. Another movies that what did I mention? Saving Private Ryan. I mentioned Platoon. I mentioned
Yeah, they are war films,
Sicario.
and there's a ton of those.
Um,
So
yeah, I would
let's
say
stick more to action.
Transformers. Like I always was a fan of the Transformers series. I know the story kind of got crazy, but if you're looking to just straight get high and take some medication and
Whoa,
just
whoa,
watch things
whoa, whoa,
blow up,
whoa, whoa.
like Transformers.
If you just want to
Transformers is
enjoy
the
the
movie.
euphoria of watching a
Oh
movie, look at this guy
yeah.
over here, man.
That
This is
being
why we're gonna be
said,
Oh,
though,
monetized.
China. I ain't seen that shit
that
in
being
years.
said,
Yo, you know what we need to forget
what's
about
another
is
one?
Taken.
Taken's a good one. Taken's a good series with Liam Neeson. Comedy action. I go to Tropic Thunder. I know that was brought up last week, but Tropic Thunder is just my go-to. I can just watch that movie and just absolutely have a good time watching it.
Escaping, what's
Yeah,
that? Isn't that Escape LA or something like that?
Escape from Alcatraz.
Where's Kurt Russell? Isn't he Escape from?
Oh, Escape from LA. Yeah, like,
Isn't that the movie that came out? What's the movie that he was just? What's the one they just remade? Oh, Roadhouse. Oh my God, Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, yeah.
Oh, Roadhouse is great
Yeah,
too.
the real Roadhouse was the shit. The original Roadhouse is the shit. I still haven't watched the new one yet.
The new one's pretty good, Mac. I'm not gonna lie. I watched the new
I
one.
need to finish it. I
was pretty
started it,
good.
but I need to finish it.
If you want to talk about, you know what we'll do? We know what we'll do next week. We will do adventure movies like Indiana Jones and that type of stuff because there's a ton of those as well. You can put them in action if you want. I don't care, but I think let's try to stick to action because again,
we're counting
we
those
don't want.
action movies. Then fucking Gladiator has got to be up there somewhere.
Right. No, but I'm saying let's
Shit.
Gladiator is an action film. I mean, you could add Starship Troopers if you wanted to, that type of stuff. Like, Star Wars is an action film, but they're all
I was
different
just about to say
categories for a
that.
reason. They're
I
all
was gonna
different
say for
categories for a reason.
sci-fi have to be like Star Wars, obviously. But like Adam said, I mean, like I could go on for days. I mean, like naming the Jurassic Park,
Right,
Jurassic World, Fast
exactly.
and the Furious. There's just so much to choose from.
So like we can do next week like action adventure, which is like Fast Furious, that type of stuff. I mean, that's an action movie too, Fast and Furious.
I want to ask you guys this: who's your guys' favorite action actor?
Ooh, Well, it depends. What year? What decade are we talking about?
Just in general, because mine would be Keanu Reeves. Even though he plays the same thing every single role, I
Well,
mean, like he has so much good action films. You know what I'm saying?
yes, Speed is actually an underrated film. I
Speed.
love Speed. Speed's
Even
fantastic.
Joel
Tango and
Butler.
Cash.
Joel Butler will probably be my new school favorite, and Jason Statham,
Tango and
obviously.
Cash. What a great film Tango and Cash was, man. Kurt
Tango and
Russell
Cash, the Conan
and
movies.
You
so
said
I think it's
Gerard
Kurt
Butler.
Russell.
If you're talking about Gerard Butler, then we got to go. I
Yeah,
mean, you got to go. Olympus. I mean, Olympus has fallen,
Olympus
or
Has
whatever
Fallen.
that one
Law
is called.
Abiding
Yeah,
Citizen was a film,
yeah,
bro.
Olympus has
He was the
fallen.
guy with
Yeah,
the bone.
yeah. Law-abiding citizen.
Yes,
No
sir.
mess, no nest, no just through my shit in the chat. Tango and Cash. Oh man, it's too many movies, man. It's too many
That's so
movies.
good. Tango and Cash was so good. Yo, you remember Club Dread? Remember that? And what's that movie that still Stallone was in? That cyber action film. I forget what it was called.
The Fifth
You know the
Element.
one. No, not the Fifth Element. Not that one. He was in another movie.
He wasn't in the Fifth Element. I apologize.
It's not Judge Dredd. Was it Judge Dredd?
Judge
Isn't that
Dredd, the original.
yeah with Sylvester Stallone? I think that's him. I think he's in
I
that.
think so. Yeah.
That's a weird one
Yeah,
too.
The new one. The new one was pretty good.
Isn't Wesley Snipes in that movie? Well, isn't Wesley Snipes the villain in that movie? Yeah, there it is with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Remember Cliffhanger? How bad that movie was? Oh my god!
Even was that movie when they changed faces? Face Off. Face Off was a pretty good film.
Oh, Face Off was. Oh my god, Face Off was the mid '90s. That film came out and just blew the doors off of.
You know what?
Was,
You know it's funny because they just came out with a video game, and it's not an action film, but I've been watching it because it's a 1988 film, and the first time I'm watching it, Crazy Clowns from Outer Space. It's the first time I ever watched that. I watched that the other day, and I'm like, what is going on here?
oh my god,
That's funny.
That's the joint on Netflix that came out a few years ago with Ryan Reynolds, Six Underground.
600.
yeah?
Yeah,
Fucking dope as shit.
I have to
But
finish
just
it.
just the opening, just the opening scene alone of that movie is like, it's crazy. Just the opening scene in that movie is absolutely crazy.
Ryan Reynolds is he's underrated. You know, like the Deadpool
Deadpool?
movies. Deadpool is fucking
Yes, sir.
fantastic. You know, there's the Venom movies coming out. I mean, like we can talk about many different genres of action.
You said Kurt
films.
Russell, and I just started thinking of like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh man,
Alrighty.
Kurt Russell is the shit, man. I mean, I think he does a lot of good films.
Death
I mean,
Proof.
people. Oh my god, Death Proof was so fucking awesome. Quentin Tarantino is just out there.
Yeah,
so
that's
out
what you guys
there.
are talking
you
about.
talk about
Escape from LA.
just talk about just shooting out like. And I saw John Wick in the theater. Let me tell you, man, that movie is insane. The way they kill people.
Snake
the
is
way
back.
The way he kills people in that movie, he's shooting them through the neck area. You know, the one spot they don't have like armor on. I'm just like, John Wick is the shit. You know? Oh,
gonna
that's
ask
it,
you-
Demolition Man. That's it. There you go. No message. Demolition Man. That's what it was.
This got recommended to me. I would recommend it to you guys too because I need to go watch it. Basically, they're saying that this is way better than John Wick.
What?
Monkey Man.
What's that?
They're saying that this is being compared to John Wick, and then like it's
I see how
basically
it's-
like an Indian version of John Wick, basically, and it exposes like just the deep state in India. Basically, that's the best way I could put it.
Yeah, there's many cool films out there, you know, throughout the history of time. And I think next week we'll try to do sci-fi-ish films. You know, there's plenty of those to talk about. But you know, and you know, what movie I went to see? Oh, we talk about action films. We talk about action films. I went to see Bad Boys.
How was it?
It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. We want to talk about a movie. We talk about movies. I need to add my list. I need to put Bad Boys in there too. This one was actually as good as the first one. To me, in my eyes, I thought it was that good. I thought it was better than the last two. And the one in Miami where the 2005 one, 2003 one, where that one was hilarious. You know, they're eating the ecstasy and all that shit. That was friggin' hysterical, right? And then they had Bad Boys the recent one where Bad Boys 3, right? So this one, if I had to rank the Bad Boys, I would put Bad Boys 1 first, Bad Boys 4 number 2, Bad Boys 2 number 3, and then the third one as the fourth Bad Boys. To me, I mean, it was that good. I loved it. I laughed from start to finish. It was absolutely hilarious. Martin is great. It's just a lot more fun, you know. And it's what I think Bad Boys should have been after the first one. I think it got a little too cute with Gabrielle Union and all this stuff and trying to make it all this. I mean, like that one in Miami. I think that one is great where they have the guy, they cut him up, put him in the barrel, and then the Cuban guy is like sitting there in the kitchen with a dude that's chopped up. So it was good. But this one, I thought it was really well done. So that's my summer blockbuster. I'm going to try to see another film or two, depending on what comes out.
Well, you got to go watch Wolverine and Deadpool in theaters.
When's that coming out? It's not coming out in a few
July.
weeks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll probably go see that by myself. This one I took my wife out to see with me. So but the other one is, yeah, she did. She ruined the movie. It was not necessary. You know what I mean? They plop in a star there, try to get a star. If she was not Mike Lowry, they could have did anybody else. Vivica A. Fox would have been good. Use her for Independence. She would have been. It would have just been fine. But like I said, the fourth one, fantastic. Go see it. I recommend it. Don't buy the popcorn. The popcorn and the drinks cost more than the admission to the movie. So I will never do popcorn and drinks again. That was like, it was really a shell shock moment. You're like, oh my God, I paid this. I paid more to get the snacks. Of course, you do the snacks for the ambiance when you go to the movies. Try to get the popcorn, try to get the butter, try to get the salt on there. I'm a butter popcorn kind of guy.
Yes, sir.
I don't go there for the M&Ms. I go there for something I don't always eat, and that's popcorn. Like, I can go out and get M&Ms at any store. Why the hell am I going to pay you $4 when I can pay $1 and put those shits in my pocket? Like, that's just dumb.
Yeah, that's so facts.
I'm sorry. That's just dumb to me.
I do. I honestly, I hate the price because ours, I believe, is now $7.50 for a large. But I'm like, when you get that butter on it, it's so good. Like, I usually get a popcorn, jalapenos, and then I'll usually get a water. But sometimes I'll treat myself to a soda. But when you're asking me $6 for something that costs 5 cents, it's just ridiculous. But it's the cost you pay.
Well, you're paying again. You're paying for the experience.
How much did you guys pay for the liquid? 3 cents, and you guys are charging me $6.
I just put everybody's kid through college because of popcorn, which you make on a massive level, right? And listen, you're paying for the experience and the ambiance. That's what you're doing, right? When you go to, I went to New York. I went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Natural History Museum for Father's Day, and it was fantastic to go to, right? And you're paying for the experience. You go there and you pay. I paid $46 for parking. Great job there.
You paid $46 for parking?
Yeah, I should have. That's all I should have paid. Honestly, I should just walk in because they asked you for donations.
Fuck, you should get it for free.
I should have put $1. It's true. You can put whatever you want down there, right? I should have put $1 because next time I go, I'm putting $1. I'm like, listen, my admission is $1. My parking is $46. I gave you $47 in total. You know what I'm saying?
You said the Museum of National History?
The Museum of Natural History in New York City.
That's in New York. Yeah, so yeah. Hell, New York's parking is nuts, huh?
Well, no, that was under. I could have parked on the street for far less. We parked under the museum. That's the problem. But I didn't think that's the most I've ever paid for parking outside the Giants Stadium, which was $50. But at least I get the tailgate there. You know what I mean? At least I get to buy, bring a bar.
To get a staff for the day. Yeah.
I can do something. This I got to walk. Not only do I got to do that, I got to walk through 4 floors of your ginormous museum. Give me a break, So it was. I enjoyed that shit.
That's awesome.
But I'm not a movie. I'm more of a movie goer than a movie collector. I know Mac used to have a DVD collection. I was the opposite. I used to like going to movies. I wanted to go to see them on the big screen more than collecting them at my house. I was more of a football collector. Like, if you were to ask me when I was a kid what would my collection be, I had more football tapes of Giant games than I did actual, movies. because I was just that, in the 90s, you had to record your movies or stay up to watch them. And if I had Jurassic Park.
I was just about to say that, bro. I grew up in the 90s as a little kid because I really grew up in the 2000s. But I was born in 1993, and I remember being like 5 or 6, and begging my mom to take me to the store to buy blank VHS tapes so I can tape episodes of Dragon Ball Z. I can tape my favorite show. It was amazing.
See, the funniest part is
Yeah.
you lived in a time where the 90s, was an interesting time if you were.
Yeah, we have to wait a whole week to watch our next show.
And it's funny.
It's on Netflix now.
Right. You're in the content age. You don't even need to leave your house if you want to watch good movies. Right.
Yeah.
Remember, like I remember, and I know we're going off topic, but we're in the content age, right? I remember telling a friend of mine a story. He used to tell me, you never make it on the little screen. No one wants to be on TV. Everybody wants to be in movies. Well, now I think that narrative's changed. Now I think everybody wants to be on Netflix and, the small screen.
Everybody wants to be YouTubers.
Screen. Exactly. But think about it. If you're on Netflix, they recycle other actors for a lot of their shows. So if
look at Happy Gilmore as a brand. Like Adam Sandler basically has a deal with Netflix where all of his movies and Happy Gilmore gets released on Netflix, and he's making just as much as if he was to release it on the big screen. I hope the big screen never dies because it's an experience. I kind of like the drive-thru. The drive-thru died. I know there's several across the country. I know we have some in Hawaii that I got to experience it, but I was gonna say like I wasn't even fucking alive. But back in the 70s, you could just take your day, go through the drive-thru, watch it on a big screen in your car, hook your stereo up to it. I mean, like, hopefully the big screen will never be taken away. But going down memory lane, like what you said, and we're just talking at this point, so we can open up the conversation and into just general popular stuff. But I love the fact that I got to experience music the way I did. Like, I didn't get to experience 8-track, but I got to experience cassette. I got to experience a Walkman. I got to experience an iPod, MP3. And now we live in a world where any song is at our fingertips, free on YouTube or Spotify at a premium cost of $10, and you basically can listen to a whole artist's albums. I remember the days where I used to go on FirstWire and LimeWire and Pirate Bay to get all these CDs and
to make your mixtape CDs for your car ride.
And then you got the little mixtape binder and all your cassettes.
It's funny because you're about 10 years behind me, right? So. Mm-hmm. And I'm about 6 years behind Mac or so. So we all have different kind of things that we have. Like Mac remembers the full-blown Walkman where you got to have the cassette tape. Like I had a Walkman, but mine was mostly the CD player, right? Like my generation's Walkman was
remember the Change 5? You can have 5 CDs play.
Right. and then you had the mid 2000s or the mid to early 2000s. They all had the MP3 players. Right, yes. That was their Walkman, and then the new iPad and stuff. But now the libraries are endless. And I think I like about this, what I like about now, but I wish wasn't, is one, the oversaturation. Everything. Let's stick with content, not necessarily music. Like you can go anywhere. You watch Netflix. You have Prime. You have Apple TV. Like you can go watch movies anywhere, and I don't want to see theaters die because that's an experience that I hold near and dear to my heart where, you go there with your dad, your mom, your family, and you go watch a movie on a big screen. The screen, most people don't have a screen that size in their house. Most people, especially if you go to the theater that I went to the other day to watch Bad Boys, you definitely don't have a size.
Titan XC or the iMac.
My God, it was like row after row after row. It was stadium seating. You're like, wow, this is like, I'd love to watch an NFL game here because it'd be crazy, right? And by the way, if that ever happens, that was my idea first. I always wanted to buy a theater. They put multiple games.
Boxing and UFC fights in theaters.
Well, they should do the NFL. I would rent out an NFL with 13 theaters and put all different games on, and you pay money to go watch your team play on a big screen, right? And the concession would be open.
Really? Would you pay for the Giants at this point, Adam?
To see it doesn't have to be the Giants. I can go watch any game there.
The Bengals. Your great Bengals.
Right. I go watch Joe Burrow and the Pittsburgh Steelers on a big screen like that, right? I'm not going to go watch Giants Vikings, and I can watch that at home with two dumbass
Giants of
quarterbacks,
Carolina.
right? You know what I mean? Like, what am I getting at? Ooh, great. Malik Neighbors scored, great touchdown. You know, like, what are we doing? But, I'm just saying, like, to me, the movie theater experience is great. I've talked a lot. Mac, what are your thoughts on, are you a moviegoer? Do you like sitting at home watching content?
I used to be a moviegoer, and then COVID happened, and then like most people in the world, I just got content with watching everything on the streaming services because everything's available on the streaming services. I mean, that's what happened. COVID hit. It pretty much put a hit to the movie theater business. It just is what it is a little bit. I mean, you got brand new movies coming out that are already available on Prime a couple weeks after they just released in the movie
I
theaters.
do
I
have a
mean, that's
problem
not
with
how
that.
shit used to go down. I mean,
Yeah, they used to take
movies
4
used to
years to
come
get the
out
fucking
in the movie theaters,
VHS.
Wait,
and,
wait.
Yeah,
and then you had to wait. You'd have to wait 6 months at least minimum before it could even maybe come out on VHS or
dude.
whatever or DVD,
I was
whatever.
from the
So
'90s.
yeah,
You
I
waited
go back
4
to the
years.
VHS.
You go to
Four.
Suncoast, you can see like the pre-orders.
And
You had to rent movies like Home Alone 2. The first one just came out on DVD on tape when the second one hit, right? So you had 2 years to wait at that VHS because it just I don't know why, but now you can pirate the movie, you can do whatever. It takes away from the movies, but that's what I'm saying is nobody thought streaming would happen because of the what happened with COVID. Everything got accelerated, right? This
Oh
is
yeah.
we're 5 years ahead of where we're supposed to be technically in terms of technology
And
because
there's
of what.
technology that's going to be released soon that all these guys that just sat at home and did some stuff through that year will starting to reap the benefits of that.
Well, it's interesting because, like I said, I
Sorry, Mac.
we're,
We were gonna let you talk. We just take the mic over again.
yeah, sorry.
Continue, Adam. No, continue and pass it over to Mac.
No, I'm just saying, like I know you said the pandemic has stopped you from watching movies. I still like to go for the experience. You know what I mean? Like I know it's expensive now, and that's why it's not as convenient or fun to go to. But for me, if I'm going to go watch Transformers, I'm going to go see it on the big screen because even though I'm watching it on TV, the big screen shows you, okay, that thing's 40 feet tall, right? Your screen, you're like, oh, it's 40 feet tall because Shia LaBeouf is tiny. But when you put Shia LaBeouf on the screen and then you put those Transformers, I remember watching Transformers and almost jumping out of my seat with how big they were and how crazy it was to just watch these huge animals, like Star Wars is so much better on a Star is so much better on big screen than it is at your house because those starship battles are so great.
No, for sure. Like
Anyways,
when it comes to like comedies or romantic comedies, yeah, I'm
right,
fine watching that at home.
exactly,
But action movies, big screen
no,
for sure. Go ahead,
exactly.
Matt.
I mean, I'm just like I said, COVID fucked the movie theater game up for me. So it got so point where I didn't go for so long that I got used to not going. So now I never really turned it back into
So
a
you have
habit. I
surround
only
sound
go
at your
to the
house?
movie theater. I've been to yeah I do, but I've been to the movie theater only twice since since post COVID. Literally only twice
Is it something where like you
since
just you
post
just
COVID. Like
haven't found the time, or is it something that there hasn't been a movie to really strike your
it's just something.
interest?
It's something I got used to not going. For
Yeah,
so
and that's
long
what
we couldn't go to the
yeah,
movies.
that's true.
Right,
So I got
but if
used
you
to
want to
not
see a
going.
movie
Streaming
that's not on a
services,
platform,
it doesn't. I'm not one of
I
those.
guess
It doesn't really matter to me that much. I'm good with it right at the crib.
you're
It
good
doesn't
with
matter
rating
to me as
and
long as I'm
but
watching
what?
it on.
But my question is, if let's just say Bad Boys, right? Right now, it's not on any streaming service, so you either have to wait for it to come out on a streaming service, pirate it, which as that's what you do, that's fine by me too, or actually go to the movies. So you're saying you
I think Mac won't even care. He'll just wait until it comes out on his streaming service.
or pirate it,
He's comfortable
I
with
will, cause
rating.
I know it'll. I know it'll be
It'll
out
pop up in
soon
like a
enough.
matter of weeks.
It'll be on Bad Boy. It'll be on Prime in like probably another couple of weeks it'll be on.
Remember when we used to watch?
People, you
Remember
know?
we used to watch bootlegs when people used to take the camcorders and sit in the movie theaters.
Oh no! Remember going to your local swap meet and they're selling these like bootleg fucking movies and shit with the worst
Local
quality.
swap meet. What are we in the Midwest? What is the local
Oh,
swap?
I had a
man.
bootleg guy. I had a guy.
Yeah, bootleg guy.
I just
Gotcha.
called him.
Everybody had a guy. Everybody
Yeah,
had
he
that
used to
guy.
come- and he used to come to. I called him and he used to come to my crib. Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, he was like there was like
Well,
a
had
drug
the-
dealer
well, had the
and then
movie
your
plug.
bootleg guy, right? And then ever since DVDs happened and pirating happened, the bootleg guy, his business has gone out elsewhere, right? It's kind of the way of the rental
Well, the
video
problem-
rentals.
The streaming shit is you got streaming services for every damn channel. Streaming services. You got the free streaming services making original content. Just original Tubi shows and original TV shows.
There's a
those are
short
free
movie that
streaming.
came out on
You don't
Tubi
have to
that I
pay
wanted
for
to
those
check out.
services.
Tubi, you know about
You don't have to
Tubi?
pay for those
Tubi's
services.
good, but
and they
Tubi
have
got
what you
some
call
good
it.
movies. I ain't gonna lie.
Yo, Freevee, Tubi. I pay for all the services. I'm stupid.
Pluto TV.
Oh, Pluto TV. Oh my God, stop talking. Now you're speaking my language. I thought I was the only loser that watched
Dude,
that stuff.
honestly, Pluto TV had the best commercial during the
They
Super
have
Bowl.
the greatest game shows on there, man. Supermarket Sweep is the shit.
Oh, Supermarket Sweep, though. That reminds me back in the day, dude.
When you hear the beep, you know
Whammy,
it's
did they have
Supermarket
whammy
Sweep.
on there? Double whammy.
You ever seen a bootleg SummerSlam? Yeah, I've seen bootleg SummerSlams. I've seen bootleg Royal Rumbles. I've seen them all.
Like
Okay?
SummerSlam. I
Like,
love
come
it.
on, man. Like,
I've
I
seen
grew
a
up in
lot
the
of
90s.
bootleg shit.
I grew up in the 90s. Remember when you remember this? Remember when your friend used to have the fucking cable channel? He used to pirate that when stealing cable was a thing. Remember that?
You're damn right. The black box, man. We got the black box, bro.
The whole
The
neighborhood-
black
the whole neighborhood has
box.
cable.
Oh my God. The blue lake cable days. Oh my! You always had that one friend that had the black box. Somebody had one, and you'd go over there and watch naughty movies and shit and all these fucking
That's
pay-per-views.
where you watch all the pay-per-view shit at on the black
Exactly,
box. Yeah,
exactly. You didn't pay that shit. That's like my friend. That's how you think I got to the Royal Rumble, because he'd be like, "Oh, wrestling's on, man." You just Sunday night, be watching Channel 99's fucking pay-per-view, and then you happen to flip the channel because it's a commercial or boring, and you end up and there's a obligatory tit shot from some porn of those going on, because you don't realize that you get every pay-per-view channel. Like,
Both of you guys said something very interesting that I wanted to touch
Everyone.
on. Like Mac brought up something that I wanted to touch on, and Adam, and I'm gonna blend the two. There's so much content out right now that, like Adam brought up, that we spend so much time, unless there's a dedicated show that you're watching at the moment, or there's a dedicated movie that released that you really wanted to watch. Sometimes we spend so much time just picking something to watch.
oh my God!
There's so much
Yes!
things to watch.
Like, I get so bored, I get stopped. I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like, I want to watch this. I want to watch that. I want to watch. And then I'm like, how many hours do I fit into the day? And it's just like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. If I don't know what show I'm like, if I'm not on Netflix and I see a show I want to watch and I put it on the back burner, I am not watching anything. You know, I'm just not.
I just started for the next 10 minutes.
I go back to my old sitcoms like Friends and Step by Step and all these other shows, and I go back and I watch those shits, even though I know what they are, because I'll sit there and I'll just get like a brain fart, because it's like a cascade of fucking content. I have to go through Prime and find out what movie's there. I got to go through Netflix and find out what movie's there. That's why I like Pluto TV, because the categories are just there. It's like old school scrolling through your old school channels, right? You
Yeah,
gotta
like a
go through,
TV guide. Like a TV guide.
right. You got to go HBO Max and be like, it was like bootleg liquor. Oh my God, that's another topic. It's my liquor.
And then
Yeah,
another thing I wanted
know all
to
about that too. Look, no mess, you talking my language right there. Hold on real quick, because I know all about that. Back in the day, liquor stores was closed on Sunday here in Delaware too, and we used to have to do the paper boot. If you didn't get your shit stocked up on Saturday, you had to hit the bootleg man on Sunday. I lived right around the corner from the bootleg man. Right around the corner. And you had to go, it was shady as shit. You had to go up the little back alley, in the little back alley, because, you couldn't just be letting people, you couldn't let people just see people walking in and out of his house. Out his front
Yeah,
door.
that's a crime, man.
So-
Those movies. The FBI warnings were real, people. FBI warnings were real.
and you get the little cheap,
I
you
dumped
get
the
the little
$250,000.
cheapest fucking beer that you go to the liquor store and spend a couple of bucks on, and it would fucking cost like $8 at the bootleg man on Sunday for like the little cheapest, most disgusting shit. You know what I mean? But
You get beer.
that's what you
You
had. That's
get
how
beer.
that's how
I didn't know that.
that's
So
what if you wanted it,
let
that's
me
what you
ask
had
you
to
guys
deal
this:
with.
why did they close the stores on Sundays?
Blue laws for
Was
some
it just a
people.
religion thing?
It was blue laws for some
Just used to
small
be closed on
towns.
Sundays.
Yes, mostly a religion. Like some of them wanted to go to church,
Interesting.
So they,
Okay, so
I lived in
you
a,
go
I
to the
lived in a
bootleg
town.
guy and you're paying expensive for just cheap liquor.
Well,
Because
now that's
the
probably
advantage of
not.
the
That's
stores being
probably not the
closed.
thing. I live in a
Huh.
town. I lived in a town where it had blue laws, where you would go in there and then you basically couldn't do anything on Sunday because everything was closed, which I think is good. Retail people need a chance to breathe
Time
as
off.
well.
Absolutely.
But again, if you have a business, you could keep it open and just switch people's shifts around, right? So it is what it is. Like Enterprise does it, the Chick-fil-A does it. They're closed on
Chick-fil-A.
Sundays as well,
Chick-fil-A.
right? And they do it for religious reasons because their owners were like, we're going to church on Sundays, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, so we're closed. So
Honestly, if I owned a business, I'll give my employees that option, and I also will give my employees for tens instead of 5/8. I'll give them for tens if they wanted it.
right. Well, if I owned a business, I would allow flexibility. It depends on what business it is, right? Like for me, you're talking about life in general, what we're at, right? And everything at our fingertips. You should be able to have the option to go somewhere like to the movies or stay at home, right? That's what options you should have in life. And I'm not saying sometimes Netflix and the movies they come out at the same time. You can stream it at the same time. But to me, again, just to try to stay on topic a little bit, not to get too far off, we don't want to get into the weeds here. But to me, the streaming services are like what Max says. They're just so much. But we're in the, like I keep telling people, we're in the content age, man. When you think about where we came from, where people had camcorders and there was a lot of content out, but it wasn't at your fingertips the way it is now. Now we're making a video. Somebody's watching us. 19 people are watching us right now.
Yeah,
19 people.
there's 100 million YouTube accounts.
Right, 100 million. Right, just that alone. There's somebody talking about something that you don't know about. They're talking about the bottom of your feet. Like, oh, look at these soles that I got. Something there. You need it, you can find it. The same thing he said about the porn or whatever. Like, yeah, there's endless amounts of it. That sometimes I think too much doesn't allow for you to find all the gems that you need, because well, it does two things in my eyes. You either get oversaturated, where the content's not as good, or you have to have banger after banger, which is why I think, like, if you talk about the WWE right now and the AEW, right? There's a documentary, since we're talking about TV and streaming, I watched Who Killed the WCW, right? Like, it's a fucking fantastic series on Vice where it's interviewing Kevin Nash, Eric Bischoff, a couple of the execs at Turner Sports, and some of the things that these people were doing on and what TV was, right? Like they were saying, like if on Monday Night Nitro, NWO's on and they're doing better than the WWE, you're changing the channel. That rate, they losing ratings. Now you don't even need to do. You could DVR one and watch it later, and you don't have the same wars as you do. All it is right now, to be honest with you, all the platforms that you see that you watch, minus maybe like Netflix, well, some of the Netflix are all advertising campaigns. That's all they are, because since everybody's got streaming, they have to reach you somehow. And they don't need your ratings or your eyeballs. They just need you to go to Netflix. They just need you to go and pay for the service. And whatever show you're going to watch, they're going to insert that ad in there. And that's what's changing the game right now. Because of all the content, you don't need people like subscribers and all that stuff. But what if I'm not watching Netflix, how are they getting money? Well, there is an option to watch paid ads. I was watching Law and Order on Peacock, right? They have ad breaks in between some of their things. So I have to watch a minute ad. I can't fast forward it or do nothing. I have to watch that. So that changes the game when you talk about eyeballs and ratings, because now you're not doing the same. If you guys are not familiar with TV, Nielsen is how they rate things, right? They quantify the masses to say if 10 million households are watching it, it's probably reached 100 million households or something like that. That just kind of quantifies what it's doing. Right now, they do impression-based, which is basically guesstimations on how many people would watch. So if you think about it, right, how are you going to get all those people to watch your things? You either have to have great content, or you have to have advertisers willing to spend money, copious amounts of money for specific shows, right? That's why the network cables are dying. That's why Optimums are changing.
Linear TV is absolutely dying, and I wanna grab the mic from you real fast because you're talking right down my alley. Because if you really think about it, that's how you have a peak. That's how you have Pluto TV, Tubi TV, and
Right.
all these platforms free because of the fact that the ads that interrupt your little movie that you're watching for free is how the company makes their revenue. If you look at Netflix,
You're paying for that.
they're so smart at they're so smart on the way they ended up marketing themselves that it was almost like the Amazon effect. They literally put themselves in debt for a really, really long time. Remember when Netflix came out, it was all like DVD shit. Like you
It's
could
sent
just
to your
send a
house.
DVD in a row. Yeah. They did that. They did that on purpose, basically to, not to get rid of get rid of Blockbuster. But at the end of the day, they did that and they took the loss, knowing they seen 5, 10, 15 years ahead what will this world become. And YouTube is exactly what Nomad's about. When YouTubers, make it on YouTube, and this is why YouTube is so big nowadays, is because of the fact that these companies, rather than run an old, why would we pay $250,000 and run an ad on TV where we know that we're only going to hit this certain demographic and we're not going to hit as much eyeballs as we've seen, when we can just get a YouTuber to post a video about it, or we can just pay Kylie Jenner $250,000 and then Kylie Jenner can Instagram it and then 100 million eyeballs see it. You know what I'm saying?
That's where you're getting up my alley in terms of advertising. I work in
Go right ahead.
advertising.
Absolutely. I'll let
So
you
this is why I'm telling you, when you're in the content age, they put commercials on because that's how they pay revenue. They don't need your eyeballs anymore. They just don't, because they're just going to pack it in there, and you're going to watch a movie. Now, what they're trying to do is drive you with content to go there. Obviously, have to make shows so you can go watch some of these content. But Tubi, all they're doing is offering you free stuff. Well, you're cool. I don't want to pay $100 a year to watch TV. I'll gladly watch it for free. With my Amazon account, just downloading it. Right, so they generate the ad revenues. Like you said, YouTube's done a different thing, right? I don't think it's killed the TV star. I think Netflix has killed, and Prime and HBO Max has killed the TV star.
I agree on that.
And it's not even a TV star, because they kind of evolved from TV to streaming, which is the same shit. It's technically in the business called linear, right? Which is basically your regular TV stream that comes in. So if you're not familiar with it, they sometimes they build in ad breaks. Sometimes, right now, they're all inserted by a computer, but you have to make the pods, obviously. What happens is, it used to be they would go to break and they would know when they go to break. Now shows technically know when they're going to break, but they don't have to because the ad is going to be inserted for them. So after 20
that's
minutes,
what I wanted to bring up as well. It's like
the ads go in.
Adam, being that you're in the stage, you're in your industry. I do want to ask this, because more and more I do see that companies, and I think it should go. I don't think it should go in about like idiocracy where we have like all these companies on the screen at one time. But I do believe that companies should buy commercial breaks. So when I honestly, guys, there's nothing to watch. Don't judge me. I got into NASCAR. I've been watching NASCAR on Sundays, and on Sundays when I'm watching NASCAR, they do it. They do like this. This commercial fee is brought to you by Fox.
Well, those are sponsorships, so they will purchase that, and that you will go into a live broadcast with that lead in, because that's cost money in terms of what you're talking about.
Like big time, like Apple or Verizon or just anybody should buy commercials. You know what I'm
saying?
They
do. It's called, they buy ad spots. They buy it on your TV slot. Okay,
commercial fee brought to you by Apple. Thank you, Apple.
Right. So, but Apple's paid a pretty good premium for you to watch that Apple, and I'm sure there's going to be some type of
people go to Apple website, get the new.
Those things that come up, they're called snipes. They show you whatever show comes up. They're going to be sponsored by Apple, or it's going to be read in the copy or whatever is there, right? So what happens now with ad breaks is, well,
But
yeah, they're
you're just not watching the right kind of movies.
well. The thing is,
Thing.
they're Netflix stars and they're content
Yeah.
creator stars, right? Yellowstone's big. That was on TV. You can watch it on many different platforms.
There's a lot of actors
What
that
they're
make
doing,
themselves
is,
Game of
right?
Thrones, you
They're
know?
tearing it up. You're tearing it up, right? Because you're connected with so many devices, and I know this is boring, but this is how it works, right? It used to be one device that would get all the eyeballs. Well, now all the eyeballs go to your phone, go to a tablet, and can go to your computer screen, and now also your TV. So with that, you're quantifying your revenue, and you're saying, well, how do I spread out my ad dollars to get to the most eyeballs where I need it to go? And what they can do is, if it, let's say there's a local beer that you like, Mike likes Mad Elf. We'll use Mad Elf here, right? So there happens to be somebody who likes Mad Elf. The Mad Elf commercial comes on, do. You know, there's Mac drinking the Mad Elf, going refreshing, right? So then what will happen is the ad can tell you that, hey, look, you know, the local pub down the street or the local liquor store down the street has Mad Elf. You know, like if you watch some of these commercials for like Volkswagen, like it'll be a national commercial, but then it says brought to you by Volkswagen of wherever you're from, and
Your local district. Yeah.
that is put in because somebody on the other end had to put in those credentials to hit that zip code. So when that zip code hits, that ad can be the same across all platforms, but it'll change slightly with the zip code, right? Because that's how these companies do.
Oh, so at the end of the ad, they put in the zip code, so that ad runs nationwide, but at the very last 5 seconds is brought
Right.
to you by this Toyota, that Toyota, this Toyota.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Because you can't, because you're not going to see a Toyota of a different, and it could work. It could work to many different things, right? So, for example, there's a car thing that's Route 46, right? Route 46 spans like 40 miles, right? That they can show that commercial for 40 miles. After a certain zip code, people aren't going to come to Route 46, you know,
They have a
to go
closer
there,
Toyota,
right? They might have
Yeah.
a closer Toyota, right? So you're not going to want to see that Toyota ad represented in California. Now there are national ads that'll just tell you like, oh, go to your local Nissan dealer.
Yeah,
right?
President's Day sale. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That is different because that'll run across nationwide. But at the end of the day, if they're running a specific ad, it's gonna tell you that ad by your demographic, right? To try to
And you know what I do love, Adam, is like when I watch Giants games, right? I get New York ads, and there's like Bob's Furniture Store. Like we don't have Bob's in the West Coast.
Exactly.
It's fun to see different ads from different states, you know?
Right. And Bob's will go to a different broadcast location, right? So there might be a Bob's Furniture, but there might be one over in a different one. So they're not going to show you Bob's Discount Furniture in New York because if you're in California, why the hell are you going to do that? I mean, you can order from Bob's in New York if they have it, but that won't matter to you because you're getting it delivered.
They want you. Sorry,
right?
Bob.
It's like, oh, hey, Bob, hey, Zion, are you in New York? Come over to Bob's Discount Furniture. So, anyways, to wrap it up because we got to get going in the next few minutes. The ads have changed because the devices have changed. The devices have changed, which have allowed more eyeballs to get to things. That's why you see advertising everywhere. Every little piece from NASCAR to the website you're on, everything has an ad slot because the more eyeballs they get, the more likely you are to buy that product, whether you like it, whether you believe it or not. Now, if you buy something naughty and it pops up everywhere you go, those are called cookies. That's how they track you. That's how they track some of your history so that what it's trying to do is prompt you to buy more stuff by sending you stuff that they think you might like. So that's been advertising in a nutshell. I'm good to go. I don't have any more to say, but just wanted to bring that up since we went down that rabbit hole.
Wow, we appreciate you, bringing us into the world of advertising, being that you worked in it and you work so closely in it. So we really appreciate that time from you, Adam. Thank you. I'm pretty much done here too, and I really want to thank all of you guys for giving us a shot on this new movies and TV shows and music popular culture.
What's category next week?
You know what? I was gonna say there's a lot that's been going on in a lot of different worlds. So I'm always down to talk movies and music or video games. If you guys want to continue down this movies path, we can how about we do comedy? We do comedy movies, romantic comedies, funny comedies, or whatever.
I think we did comedies already. I think
We
we
did,
did scary. Do we do scary?
we
We did
did
scary
horror
movies?
and we did action.
Okay, so then we can do comedy movies next.
We
So
do comedies, and we're gonna tie in like there's a
we'll do
artist.
10 comedy movies. That way you have a plethora to choose from.
There you go.
Okay, double it up. The reason why we do lists, people, is so you have everyone has a different list. I'm sure there'll be some that are the same, but if we expand it to 10, this is what we do with the NFL, right? When we say who's the top 10 guys, we're doing that because there might be a guy or two or a movie or two that will be different. So next week, Mac, do your homework.
Yes, I will.
Zion, do your homework.
I do want to add another topic too.
I don't have to do homework for comedy movies.
I love that. We'll get into that as well.
On and on.
I do wanna say No Mets had a good idea too, guys. Best movie and actor and actress. We can bring that up as well.
What are we, the fucking Oscars here? I don't have all the time for all that shit.
I do wanna I don't know how eventful this next week is gonna be.
Talk about talk about actors. Like my favorite actor is Kevin Spacey. Goddamn it!
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Kevin Spacey. That's my guy.
Okay, I love it.
Okay, well, on that note,
that being said, though, we are gonna open up this more in a popular culture because another topic that I wanted to bring up next week too is
Sose, man. I can be down with Kevin Spacey. Costas Sose, shit.
I do want to say
walked out of that goddamn police station and his feet straightened up and every damn thing else in his face.
Maybe just because the accusations.
He lit that Zippo out and he hopped in that fucking car with that lawyer, that motherfucker, that whole time that everybody else thought was Costas Sose. Come on, man.
Love
Kevin
it.
Spacey killed
I
that
love
shit,
it.
man.
That being said, though, being at the NBA Finals is wrapped up. I'm not really a hockey guy. Hockey's basically wrapping up too. Baseball's not started yet. We're just kind of waiting on the Olympics.
Don't sleep on American Beauty either. Don't sleep on American Beauty, no Mets.
We are gonna switch up, the show.
And Spacey flick too.
Another topic I wanted to bring up next week is with you guys. Is there's an artist? He's about to drop an album any single day now. It could be in June. It could be in July. But he's bringing back an old character in Slim Shady. So I do want the boys to do their research, and I do want to hear some of their favorite Eminem songs next week as well.
Eminem has a new song. That was great.
Houdini was amazing. I love the music video as well, and I do love that he brings back the whole Slim Shady and how this next generation is trying to cancel him. Like you can never cancel Eminem. Okay, go back and listen to some of his earlier works. You're never gonna cancel him. Okay, it's not gonna happen.
Let's just say this: if Eminem is speaking out, it's about to change, people. Just
the new Eminem song was terrible. You didn't like it. I think Houdini was amazing because it reminded me of the old Slim Shady's album and the Marshall Mathers LP, like all of the old shit.
Are you talking about Eminem album Houdini? I thought you were talking about Houdini. I was like, who do you even know about Houdini?
Oh yeah, his song Houdini. His song Houdini.
He's not an actor.
How many of us have them?
I do have heard of Houdini, and I did my small research of Houdini, but I'm more of a David Blaine fan myself.
Yeah, I'm a David Copperfield.
I'm not talking about Houdini the musician. I'm talking about the old rap group from the 80s.
Listen.
The rap group. I didn't even know there's a rap group. What about rapping?
Mac was singing a song.
Wow.
Listen, man, my favorite commercial is Uncle Magic. I'm going to send you guys Uncle Magic. The greatest hip hop clown in the world. I will get you guys a video and I will send it tonight. But on that note, we will do comedies and actors and
actors. I want you guys to have a little discussion. I want you guys to bring your top 5 Eminem songs. I know that's a lot of homework for you guys. We have top 10 movies. So I want to hear top 5 Eminem songs, guys. I know it's only 5. It's a really tough choice. But I want to hear you guys' top 5 Eminem songs. And we'll just have a fun popular culture show. And hopefully, if there's any major breaking
we're off
news,
next week.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we are off next week. So the week after that, guys, Mac and Adam had plans for next week, Friday. And I actually have work next week, Friday as well. A little bit later on into the evening as well. So I wasn't able to get on as early as I was. So we'll end up taking the next Friday off. And then the following Friday after that, it is going to be me and Adam because it's our fellow co-host's birthday. So me and Adam will basically probably cover a few things. But when we get back, when Mac is finally back from his birthday, then we do the top 5 Eminem songs and the top 10 movies. Me and Adam will just hold it down next
We're probably
Friday.
going to talk top wrestlers and
We'll talk top. We'll figure
top
something out.
top sports athletes. Some along the line. We'll have
We'll
you
be
fill it in.
texting and we'll have you filled in absolutely in YouTube community that I never use, but I promise to use it now that I said that. That being said, guys, the top 5 Eminem songs, the top 10 comedy movies. We have 2 weeks to do a homework on that, and we'll bring it to you guys the third weeks. And by then, guys, the Olympics should be starting as well, so that will fill up the show as well. That being said, I'm done. I'm going to pass the mic over to Adam. He's going to say his final words, and he's going to pass the mic over to Mac to close us out. Let's get it.
It's been fun, people. I hope you're enjoying this extra kind of content. Yes, we can do top 10 pro wrestling tag teams. That's going to be a good one. Maybe me and Zion will bounce that ideas off, and then Matt can submit his as well. We'll read them on air for him or something like that. But to wrap it up, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this. We thought we'd tighten the series up a little bit because the sports realm is kind of quiet right now in the months of
The Giants suck.
That too. But anyways, thanks for showing up, Mac. Do your thing, man.
Well, thank you all for coming out, tuning in to another edition of the Premium Takes Podcast. We, like Zion said, we'll be back in a couple of weeks, taking next week off, due to some scheduling situations. But make sure y'all go to my channel, Mac the Giants Fan, sub up. Adam Costas' channel, sub up. Zion Zenith's channel, hit that sub up. And go to the Hardcore Sports Network and definitely hit the sub up to this Hardcore Sports Network as well. Hit the thumbs up on all platforms.
Go check my interview out on Hardcore Sports Network.
That's no Jets coming through, holding the chat down as usual. Nemar popped in late. Appreciate you stopping by. Check out Adam, like he said, Hardcore Sports Network, Inside the Mind of Adam Costas. Was released a couple days ago, I believe. So go definitely check that out.
Fantastic watch.
It was interesting. It was fun. Get inside the mind of Adam Costas. But throw them fours up for our guy, NYG Jeffy T, man. Always here with us. Always love. Always appreciate the support, man. I'm Mac the Giants Fan. That's Adam Costas. That's Zion Zenith, man. And we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks, man. Peace!